So let's first look at scan, because scan is a lot easier to understand, and there's a lot less going on there. So if we go over here, we can see we have a query and a scan option. Now, if you created a table without a sort key, you'd only be able to scan. But we'll go to scan here, and we'll look at what options we have. So the way scan works is that it returns all the records, and then you can apply filters after it's returned those records, and then filter out what you want. So if you have a very large table, thousands upon thousands of records, that's not very efficient. So generally you always want to use query when you can, but if you don't have a need to have a sort key, then you could have a table that just has scan. But anyway, if we scan and we hit start, it returns everything. And if we want to filter stuff out, we could choose anything we want here. I could say ship class, we'll say Luna. We'll hit start search. And we have some other options here, like begin with, contains with, all these kind of options here that we can use to filter. But just understand that even though we filtered this out, it's already returned all 100 records, and then it filters them out and returns it. So we're using up a lot of capacity when we're doing that. But let's look at how we can do this via the CLI. So we'll go back to the top here, and we will look for scan. And I feel like scan would have a lot of options. Oh yeah, it has tons of options. Tons of options. We can segment stuff. We can do page size, all sorts of things. But let's go down and look at the example here. And this is the example that we are given. It looks a lot similar to the put item one here. And we're just going to do something simple. So we'll do starships. And I'm thinking for this, what we'll do is we will filter out the description for something. So I'm going to go back here to the front here. Let's say we want to get this record, or something that starts with science. Maybe something more common would be nice. Maybe destroyed. So we'll look for all the records that start with destroyed, with the description. So I'll go back here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to think about this for a second. For the scan, I don't need to project anything. These are records that we get back. Remember, projection is if we just want to cherry pick what we want. For the filter expression, we're just going to do a begins with. So I'm going to do begins with. And for this, it's going to be description. I'm just going to do :D here. And then down below, we need to specify our names. Actually, we don't need any names because we are not remapping anything. Remember, we did that before. We did this remapping. It's just extremely verbose. We don't need to do that. And I'm just going to do curlies here. And I'm going to do quotations, :D, colon, curlies, and we're going to make it a string. And then I just want it to return destroyed. So I just want you to notice that we didn't have to extract this out as a JSON file. We can write them in line like this, and it makes things a lot easier for us. But you're probably wondering what this begins with thing is. So let's go take a look back at scan and specifically look at these filtered expressions. So if we just hit enter there, if we click onto this tab here, I think it'll give us more information about it. So down below, it shows you can do equals, these symbols, and then we have begins with. This maps all with this kind of stuff here. But so begins with, in order to use it, we have to write that, and then A, and then substitute whatever the thing is. And that's what we've done. We've said we want the column description replaced with :D, and :D is going to be destroyed. So anything that begins with destroyed. So let's give this a go and see if it works. We'll hit enter. I'm expecting property enclosed with double quotation. So I've clearly made a mistake here. It's a little bit hard to see. It's because I'm using doubles on the outside. I'm going to use singles on the outside. We're just having a conflict of quotations. And there we go. We got a lot of records back. This is a little bit of a mess to look at. I'm going to go and try output. I don't know why. I'm going to try table. No, no good. You'd think they'd make that actually look like a table. We'll go to text. That's a little bit easier to see. And we can see we're getting all the records back that are destroyed. So that is for scan. Now let's take a look at how to use query.